This morning we'll talk about taxes and whether really we government whether they are really forced to raise taxes just for raise revenues. Tax collection is a contentious debate. Any side going at the world, there isn't a one-size-fits model revenue generation for developing countries, especially. Every country can really determine how they want for raise revenue, taking into consideration the circumstances, the resources available, the economic structure of the country, and so many other things as well. In we own case here, government is finding more and more creative ways to raise revenue, but much of that creativity right now is all focused on raising taxes, something which the very small private sector will get are feeling suffocated generally. And this is something we're going to talk about, because the 2024 Finance Act, for example, is a testimony to that creativity and how much it could hamper growth, but also on the other hand, how much it could contribute to government revenue. If you look at government revenue from January to June this year, there is up to 4.6 billion leones in revenue. This is over 100 million leones or so, less than what they actually raised last year around the same time. But forget more, popular commodities like rice, iron rod, cement are all going to be the target of new tax regime, which means they therefore contribute more to the government basket. Government will lower the threshold of businesses for PGST from 500 million to 100 million. And the perennial argument we hear every year from all sides are two. Firstly, that government need for raising taxes there and collect more taxes as a way for generate more revenue and run the state. Secondly, private sector also, they say, we are being suffocated because now very, very few of we really didn't have the tax bracket. And every time you introduce a new tax, it is squeeze we more and more. So this morning, we will try to understand arguments from all sides. So stay with you when we come next. We'll have Rashid Conte for the General Secretary of the Sierra Leone Importers Association and a leading player in the private sector. We'll also go talk to Ibrahim Justice Ganawa as well, who economists here who really can shine light on a lot of these economic issues. Stay with us. This is the Epic Morning Show. And don't forget, with BNB, you can now be your own boss with just your smartphone. Become an agent with the BNB POS to then get access to all of the services them. You can pay your BNB, RIA, MoneyGram, and Western Union and other codes them to different customers them who want to cash money, send money locally, or even overseas, cash in, cash out, mobile money, send top up, buy EDSA, and so much more with the BNB POS. So whatever you have to do, if you have any problems with it, just call 072 500 000. And don't forget, the Epic Carnival will just get less than 1 month to go to the big Epic Carnival all-team mix, or sort of food, all of the DJs and everybody else where you love here at Epic Radio will be there on December 16, Monjasa Park for just 50,000. So wherever you are, get your tickets now. All right, let's get straight into a conversation here this morning. Good morning, Mr. Conte.
Good morning.
So we are at a time where, the finance minister don't go to parliament, he don't announce a new budget, but also governments, they try for raise taxes, we get for create more and more revenue for them. Una from the private sector, how una see this? Is there a problem with the approach with government they use for raise revenue?
There is nothing wrong with government for raise tax system, basically for get revenue for feed into them flagship programs, them run the states, pay the police, schools, hospitals. In fact, now one major way how governments can go into economic development through taxes, basically. The problem what we get with tax is if you overtax the private sector, then you kill basically the economy, you kill the private sector. And let we realize this one. We get one of the weakest private sector in Africa, that is Sierra Leone. Point for me, huge companies, corporations, multinationals within the country. Probably in one hand you can able to condemn. If you look at what we get a lot of micro and macro business systems, small companies, people that would sell in the street, whole things in the street, little shops them. The big one these are like the rice importers the petroleum importers not then are the big one Then you get a very tiny fraction of other importers who accounts for nearly 70% of the economy. If you tax them people day and kill them, then tomorrow who else you go able for tax? The small companies and the micro companies I not say don't tax them, but tax them in a way where prudent, where they go able for afford, where you go allow them for able for grow to big fish tomorrow, will go able for push this economy. But if you overtax, then you kill the economy, then you kill the small companies. Look at the developed countries. Let's look at America. The Democrats and the Republicans. Then both they fight against each other for bringing taxes down. In fact, I look at one congressman who they ask a simple question, say, would he make Africa poor? The guy say, taxes. Everybody in the room laugh. When that guy analyzed what in tax they do to the economy, everybody was like, it get a round of applause. Because when you get low tax system, it attracts foreign investments for coming to the country. You go get the companies like Coca-Cola, Carlsberg, Kellogg's. These are big companies that will go come to the country because they know if they can't operate here, so then get the incentives them, they pay low tax system, and you know to the too much tax is the broadness of the tax itself. Because if then company then pay boku tax because then they produce that and export to other countries, you go see how the government could get more revenue.
For government, they have always said they don't stay within the let private sector grow for let them breathe. In fact, since COVID, they gave a lot of tax incentives, tax breaks, or tax deferrals even to businesses. So then just they say it's now time to cash in on all of them breaks, then they will be don't give private sector.
Wrong timing. Wrong timing.
Would there even be a better time?
Well, now I go say here now is the worst time, in fact, because look at the devaluation of the Leone. Let me just give you just short story about myself. Being the Secretary General for the Importers Association, 2.5-3 years ago, I was privileged for able to see some of the horrible figures what would they spend for import rice, for example, $200 to $300 million for import rice when we unstable food in the country. We they eat about 5 containers chicken a day, for about 5 containers of eggs, imported eggs a day. Think about how much money will be for them left in the country where they go out. I thought to myself, you know what, make I go into agriculture and agro-processing for make myself contribute to a meaningful economic development and try for help for feed Sierra Leone. With this feed salary, they can made the bidder move 2.5 years, 3 years ago. So I started getting my own small investments where I don't get in the UK over 23 years in Camp Salone, they run me little respect. I put them together, I go start up a cassava farm. From cassava farm, I start up a Gary factory. Within the period itself, I have spent, again in Leone, $1.2 million for it. Now, this year, when we do the account, because the Leone don't devalue by 98% within 18 months, the investment of $1.2 million today worth $650,000. So you tell me, when the Leone devalue, basically you they see you money they wipe off right now you die. If you've been take loan 2.5 years ago from Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, $1 million, in loans. Then you use them for go bring imports, $1 million worth of loan over the 2 years period. Now you pay back Sierra Leone Commercial Bank. You discover say Sierra Leone Commercial Bank don't lost nearly 40% of that money there because of the valuation of the loans. And this is what the problem is. So now the loan don't devalue to a level that people then they see them, so then they see the money, they all they disappear on their face. So it's a wrong timing.
So what you want to propose, for example, for make it happen? Because it might never get better, or it probably not going to get better anytime soon, but government has to generate money though. So waiting perhaps go be una own alternative to this.
That is fine. I don't say no increase tax, but increase tax gradually. That is one. But the second thing we probably government will go for do is, broaden the tax base. Again, I don't want to make Okada rider then can't hold me to ransom here. But let's just think about it. Them Okada riders there, so they pay 5,000 every single day to them.
Union.
To the union. Will they be able to contribute and say 5,000 for government tax? These are some of the creative ideas them. But again, just 2 weeks ago, a week or 2 weeks ago, we were here. We've been to talk about the government's enterprises them. Then government enterprises there, or then set now big liability instead of them contribute to the pot of revenue generation for governments who go help economic transformation. They also are a burden. But how long then a state-owned enterprise then will continue to become a burden to the states? Then not they contribute meaningfully, but then they drain on the little what government gets. Then we look at the power generation. When we do calculation, we discover, say, in the last 10 years, what in both governments then don't spend just on power generation, on the car power ship, before we own 2 car power ships. So why would not be able to do that? But not only that, again, how the then government enterprises are then set up, not to meritocratic institutions them. I could bet you, if you double the price of electricity today on what's in the power generation they get, to be honest, you then not will still become profitable. Because I will tell you, as a matter of fact, what will happen now? So much wastage. Because the revenue they come in so much, then we'll find way how then go waste them.
You mentioned a very brilliant solution about broadening the tax base. For example, GST requirements now, instead of targeting businesses we what to 500 million loans, they bring the threshold down to 100 million loans. So you see, in a way, government is also appealing to that for broadening the tax base as well.
Again, I'm happy that you brought that up. Again, because me and one person will be lead that advocacy there, PPD, with government for try to bring down the threshold of increase the threshold from 100 million to 500 million. Make I tell you about the GST. The GST now a tax, now a very complex tax. Now, a tax best practice, they tell you, say, for lay you able to implement them and make you run them successfully, you get a threshold of $50,000. Any business where they turn $50,000 for be tax GST registered, basically. And that has been the case when they enact them in 2010 and it came into implementation in 2011. Brilliant. And they work fine. Nobody saw it coming. No consultation. In 2021, we see them bring down the threshold from in original 350 million will be equivalent at the time to $50,000. Listen to this. So 100 million leons will translate to $8,000. So if they turn over $8,000 or 100 million leons, especially at the time where the leon don't devalue, you they discover, say, even the cookie shops them, wo they sell one bag, wo cook one bag rest, they go be GST registered. Small companies then will not get nothing for do with GST. They all don't get into this net. So then they drain them. Now that bring the revolts and the strikes, then lock shops them for let the threshold go up. I mean, then people there, we can design for them, again, government don't listen, a tax, a flat rate of tax. Because then boku and then small. And these are people then would they turn over just for it. For example, let me give you, when you sell this yellow butter oil, some of them, to be honest, na the butter, na the profit. And this woman get 3 picking them na us. They get picking them when they go school. They get for it. They get for pay transport for them. So if butter na in profit, you see them all day in the sun. They get for buy small cookery. They get for buy water for drink. Then you come impose GST per 15%. It's difficult. But government can turn around and say, you know what, the GST itself, yes, now somebody else they pay them. Which is so true. But una own them, go around and tell people and say, you know what, when you buy rice for 900,000, make sure you put 15% on top again and give the trader the 15%.
Yeah, but the problem with the GST is that when owner as the business people don't pay the GST, when they transfer the cost at every level down to the consumer.
Absolutely, and that's a bit try to explain. Because you get for transfer them and you get for involve input and output. Because if a small trader go buy 1 bag rice from, say, CTC, it bring them. Whenever they sell the 1 cup price, basically, you get for add 15% per annum. Add the 50%. Say you get them. Then you don't somebody get for consider and say, hey, now so you buy the rest. Okay, when you buy the rest, so now this 50% you collect 9 add more to this. The sugar we been buy again at 50. It's complex. So that make them raise the threshold to a level only people then will have the means, get the structure for able for implement them. They implement them. But again, I commend governments, then don't listen, then don't increase the threshold to 500 million. Bravo for government. This is a listening government. If not, that's what they do, with the consult, with the dialogue. To be honest, a lot of things and lots of problems and what would they get, we know we forget them. Let's continue for dialogue. The country itself, now we all get them. I go on for see Usai we they get economic transformation. I go on for see Usai we they get one of the biggest airports them. I want for see Usai we they get one of the biggest seaports them. I want for see Usai we they send we Pekin and go to the best universities them abroad, then come back and can help to this economic development in the country. I want for see Usai roads them, hospitals them. And the only way we can for do that, one major way is increasing taxes or get tax from corporations, them, executives them in the country.
And one of the things is that for a very long time in this country, government, the debate on taxes, government almost don't lose them or give up on even winning the minds of people. People get apprehension about taxes. Every time you talk about tax increments, or even taxes, people they frown at them. I mean, they would like the development that comes with it, but for payam itself. So government really, their first job now for really make sure people are excited even to pay taxes because they are losing money by that.
We've been there in a debate just about a week and a half ago. I've been member of a panel when World Bank been launched the Sierra Leone report itself, economic report itself. The senior analyst there on taxes used one word, and he was very clear. He said, nobody know how to pay tax. He said, Mrs. F. so they work, the Ministry of Finance, and how to pay tax. By nature, people don't want to pay. But you go create an atmosphere outside, people then they see outside then taxes, then they go. To be honest, willingly, people then will say, you know what, how to pay me tax. In fact, there are countries, them, like the United States, people are proud to pay their taxes because then they see how the revenue is being disbursed. I'm not accusing any government, but also they see wastage. Also they see minister they appoint until they, when I will all be the worker, and the following day they bill to us. It's difficult. Also they see you compare on a commodity university, on all the drug. All of a sudden, he gets a government appointment. They begin to build 2-3 of them, flash a car. You could be concerned. You see, so it is not the amount of tax we generate. It is the prudent allocation of those taxes and use of those taxes. Now, people then get concerned about. You see, but again, we all get a moral responsibility for pay with tax system. Basically, I get a moral responsibility for pay with tax system, because only with tax system, now take government. Well, one of the ways them, because government they get revenue for run flagship programs, run the country. Economic transformation, economic development is from taxes. To me, one person who can always be very embarrassed when government begin to talk about development partners, them, donors, them, every single time we did. Look, if you get a lion and you put in a cage for 20 years, it become this monster lion and left them free, now the bushes them, for make it go live for itself. Because it don't used to get one sheep every morning, to be honest, even mouse in a for cage. And now the situation this way, because Africa, Sierra Leone, we all don't become so donor dependent and donor driven. And this is sad and it's worrying. We don't go through this for the last 30, 40 years. After we don't get independence, 60 years down the road, you still they go to your mama, they go tell them, say, can't help me. It's shameful and it's disgraceful. So we therefore begin the move away from that. But not just tax. You get other ways and royalty from the minerals. Then we are endowed. God gave with these huge mineral resources that then country there, so now Africa. But yet still, it seems as if the minerals themselves has been a curse rather than a blessing.
All right, I'm going to come back to you. Let me come to Justice Ganawa. Good morning.
Good morning, Jawad.
So we talk in a context to say we now look at governments then get other ways for raise revenue apart from just focusing on tax, because lately we feel like say the only thing we then they focus on really now taxes.
Yeah, government gets several ways for generate revenue, but the reason why they pay so much focus on tax now because to me easy forget. So and also then things say for satisfy IMF then conditionality of increasing domestic revenue mobilization now by making sure that they're able to meet this threshold of domestic revenue generated to GDP. But I think say we get different areas where government able for this domestic revenue significantly, like the trailer who gets now out IGR, for example, they look at state-owned enterprises. You know, in Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, then they use them state-owned enterprises as cash cow. What do they mean? It means say now then institutions and then they serve as like the reserve for government in terms of most of the developmental projects that they take. So if we really want for increase on the revenue mobilization, I think say tax very important, but to me I think say we get other areas and we go be proper, because in economics we go to refer to as proper growth strategies where you implement things them where at the end of the day it will create development, but the impact go reach the poor people and the vulnerable people them. Like we budget, we say then theme I'm say for maintain macroeconomic stability and making sure we reduce the pressure on the poor and vulnerable people in the country. But if you say you use tax and at the opposite, it's like what you say and what you do totally direct and indirect, because at the end of the day, whatever thing we talk about tax on essential goods them and services, naturally they hit on the poor people them. So I think say government for focus one on the security market again. Now other area and the way the central bank will able for utilize for the generate revenue for the country. We get government state enterprises, and we know they do well. I've been mentioned earlier. And we also get areas where we get a lot of leakages then we government not they take into consideration. Because for me, it's not just about the generation of revenue. Where you generate this revenue, which you use them for do. Because if you generate XY amount, as me what I be they say, right, Jishno say, when people they pay tax, the appetite for pay tax is not in any human being. Nothing when a culture where they inculcate. You try for you bring them small. Then one of the things where they serve as an incentive for let people and pay tax. Now when they see say waiting and they put the money into it, they see development. May you remember back the days of one of the former mayor winner about George Williams, when people then say when we say for pay 5,000 units at that time, local tax, we even made a bluff with that particular paper. They say, I don't pay me tax, you don't pay tax. But because we notice, say, later on, the funds and go into things, so we're not really creating the development for we who live in our Western Urban, the Freetown City Council, which end up happen, the appetite for and die significantly. So I think, say, for a medium term, we will try for recover from all of the shocks them, the COVID, the Ukraine war, all of them fine details there. We focus not for a bit too much on tax. But for me, I think I misplaced priority in this particular budget. The Finance Act come with a lot of new taxes that way they don't come out, they don't carry them back. So at the end of the day, it's more pressure than waiting actually for be. We get areas where we talk of royalties, my brother mentioned here. When you look at waiting we get back from the mining companies, and nothing not do we good for right home about. So these are areas and the way for they make money, generate revenue, but we always focus on tax because now we think it's easy for we for.
The most contentious thing in the 2024 Finance Act now the 5% on rice. And the reason, according to government, the own rationalization are that when you put import duty on rice, you take 5%, you protect the local market. Is that the way you see it?
So I can always say this, when they do policies, then we really need sober consultation. I think if we consult with the private sector, consult with people in academia and different, you will know say this particular thing, for me, now a miss point. You know, they create a market for the local, you create productivity for the local markets. That means you handle the produce locally by increasing tax. Mind you, say you get what you refer to as a proper. You want for make sure say the lives of the vulnerable same is actually being uplifted, because how much the salaries continue for be the same. Food inflation, rice now one of the staple food. Now the country is if somebody eats all day, jawad, and not eat rice, they say not eat today. What in that day simply mean? It means say now one of the key commodity now one day where we see we as Leoneans say we eat. So if you increase a tax, you say you want for first time money day, so that at the end of the day, local productivity will increase. How it happen? What in the framework? What in the platform we get for produce? The local farmers them. What you don't give? What are the incentive for them? Number one. Then two, when you look at this 5%, realistically, may you know say the impact not be felt too much by people who be to say already they na the middle income level. Because then people are on a bag of rice and still go buy. The impact go there, but then people already buy by cups, now then go feel more. So if the argument na this say you create room for productivity, I don't think say we problem not just about productivity. We get so much for do.
And the argument is also about protecting the local farmers. And I know say at some point, this is something we don't try before for protect local companies like brewery. There was a time we'll say, let's raise the tax on imported alcohol. So brewery, for that short time, they didn't thrive. But we came to learn that brewery not even get the capacity for constantly meet the demand of the markets.
Yeah, so, you know, this issue of protecting the local farmers, them, if you do this, you increase the tax of rice, you even can go to 50%. You are not protecting them. Because what is supposed to be done to enhance their capacity, it's not yet been done. Because when you want to protect somebody, like what we do so, if they want for like we reach a particular level, EPIC as an institution, we want for reach to another level, we get for build the capacity of the one they within an EPIC. You know they say you for shut down other radio stations, for let you build the for let EPIC will able for rise up. If the capacity of EPIC they down there, no matter what you do to all of the other radio media institutions in the country, people will just decide for say, okay, let's forget for listening salon radio stations, and let listen to radio stations abroad, or you go capital, or you even listen to BBC 24/7. So waiting, I think, seeing the problem here, we really need to do the groundwork. I keep on saying, as a country, we get problem with policy sequencing. We they use you get policies the way they use where you don't get foundation. There is no way you go talk to you and can float your house beside you don't do a foundation. Now that's not happen now in the country. When you look at this budget, all of the details are inside the Jawad, I'm telling you, then we get a lot of misplaced priority in the budget.
All right, welcome back. This is the Epic Morning Show. They come to you live here on Epic Radio 99.3 FM. Mr. Rashid, government and rationalization about the incentive for put taxes on rice is that even when they nobody collect money on rice, they always been they say the product they are already, whether they collect taxes or not. So why should they lose out on the revenue? Their rice also there.
This is about the people in life. If rice, the ordinary masses, they're not able to afford them as it is now. I listened to a report yesterday who said one old mommy gets 10 picking them when they cook 6 cup rice, for goodness sake, 6 cup rice. So you will see the reason why the food insecurity in the country don't go up by 92%, and then malnutrition don't go by 96%. 92% mean 92% of the people in the country not able to afford 3 meals a day. It's already expensive, and you decide to go make it more expensive on the pretext that, oh, I want to collect revenue. It's expensive already. So if you, okay, again, let's say you double them. Instead of us be 900,000, it be 1.8 million. Okay, government will make another 900,000. But is that prudent for the people then? Not to die, people then go die. Okay. It is good that we don't begin to concentrate on the feed salon. Again, I commend the government for that. You know, to me, it will be for done too long ago. Rice production is a shame and an embarrassment for Lewi. They import $250 million worth of rice in the country. When we get 5.5 million hectares of arable land, that is land good for agriculture in this country. We both say we get one of the most youthful population. We will for them to produce rice. But again, the 5%, let me come to them. Now, government just don't announce flagship program that yes, we want for feed salon, we want for begin to produce our own food, eat so, and even with the excess we export. Brilliant idea. But to me, as of today, it's still a policy pronouncement. Again, for let that take into effect, you get forget what I call a policy shift. The whole idea of we in the invest more on then small-scale productions, subsistent farming, then outgrow schemes here, we can begin, we move now from them policy then to industrialized farming, mechanized farming, commercialized farming. We could get the desired effect for level able to produce so much rice in the country, feed everybody, and then able for export. So it's a policy shift we have to do. We have to go into the revenue mobilization. Government get to go. Look, agriculture is a very expensive business. You not just say we can feed Sierra Leone and it happens. It's not magic. You can go find the revenue for can invest in the agriculture itself, buy the equipment.
And speaking about revenue, government is saying this 5%, then they use the proceeds from them and invest them in the agricultural fund.
Let's be clear. Agriculture is a very expensive business. Okay? Let them spend the money. When you don't spend the money, you get the land preparation. You get to prepare the land. When you don't prepare the land, you get to actually develop the infrastructures themselves for able for attract the private sector. And until and unless the shift, the policy shift get for attract the private sector for invest in agriculture. Government is not a business. If they see the enterprises within the run, then they run it down. They are more of a liability than bringing revenue into the country. So if government say it's a champion agriculture in the country, it will fail. What they do is create the policy, create the enabling environments, develop the public infrastructure, attract direct foreign investment, attract somebody like me, attract other people them, where they bring the funding them come in a big way. Instead of then small farm there, so half acre, 1 acre, 2 acre, will not even enough for feed themselves. You will discover that the rice we produce in the country even more expensive, 3 times more than the imported rice. Because how will you compete against somebody in Asia, for example? The seeds, you get brilliant seeds them, good seeds, when I also salary every month, then they strike for even develop the seeds them. What the funding when they come for salary? They not get them. We will not get the right seed. We get for import the seed. You import the fertilizer, you import the insecticides, you import the machinery, you import even the bag, the tools, and everything you import them. You plant 1 term a year. Asia plants 3 term a year, for goodness sake. It's just simple economics. How can you compete? So you discover, say, we not get the comparative advantage, we not get the competitive advantage. But that doesn't mean we cannot do it. We just get for, again, you get for be private sector led, private sector focus, and private sector commitment. Then you will see how they push them. The 5%, that's fine. Again, government getting a reason why they say they put the 5%. But again, let we know, say people are hurting. Okay. Then 2, it takes a whole year cycle for agriculture for let you begin to get the dividend. Let you begin to harvest.
And the first planting season done.
The planting season done. Now the planting season start in April. So if you don't go impose the tax in January, so now you don't begin to hurt the people them. Then till April you begin the plant. All then here will be the time for talk about. You develop the land. We don't develop the land. You develop the public infrastructure. From then you do the planting. From planting you do the harvesting. From harvesting you process. You polish them. You bag them. It's another year. So 1 year you don't increase price. From people them who then already they hurt. That is one. But not only that, in 1 year you not go feed. You're not going to create any impact because this is just the beginning.
And in
long-term planning.
And in reality, Ganawa, I mean, the government just gets 9 planting season really for achieve the dream of, for achieve a collective dream of food self-sufficiency. But if we are complaining about this, so where do you suggest we start? Because for them, they will always say we have to start somewhere.
Okay, so I think say we need for look at the agricultural sector as Rashid Bide mentioned earlier. See, for us get the required output we need. We don't need for overburden people, and now all what we need for do now and for ensure say we try for build the structures. And how you build the structures, you need finance, which I know government is looking for finance. But let's say this 5% here. Who's stand for generate this 5%? Who's stand for this money that they fence?
How long in 2025 we get for go to 10%?
Yeah, yes, I know. So how long then go for generate this money? Mind you, now a big capital intensive sort of investment to look at here. So what are the period will take for the government able for the take this 5% small they put them together. Say we will forget that kind of fund for set the structure. The structure, as I've been talked earlier, and I may always get problem with. If we not get any structure, there is no go for do business. So I think say government what you for really need for do in the first place. We need for get if na loan that they go take. When we take a loan, we don't take so much loan. We loan there over 3 billion now and dollars. So if we go take so much loan, we know they see things and we be say visible. Where people will say, okay, now this now we don't do, now this we don't do. And all I think say not bad for let them go take loan and put her into some 3 for set structures. For develop the structures, and so that at the end of the day, you will forget the private sector for come into run. Nobody, no private sector person with the kind of structure will get down, they take money come here. It go come, it talk all kind fine talk, you go state house, see presidents, then sign MOUs, you go in they come. Because you get feeder routes for do, you get electricity challenge, you get equipment challenge, you get all like we not get nothing, like no foundation already. So I think the governments really need for take resources, put them into them. Waiting at the look at so how the structure is so this 5% to 10% so that they make so you go there for 20-30 years on able for fit salon with this structure what they see
and budget allocation on a 7%.
Yeah, 7% to the sector. Then say they want to let the private sector come play a lead role. Our private sector they can play a lead role into a sector where foundation already. Nothing else seems to be happening properly in that sector. Now sector able to say we just only play around literature for the past 50 years. Nobody know they do something where we say really tangible for no say we don't set some of the frameworks and we for and develop. So if we get a system where we say we want for put some money 5%, 10%, I'm telling you for the next 50 to 100 years, I'll not go for feed we save. So we need for take the bold step, put resources into the sector. When we'll be ready for education, even though there are several arguments around the free quality education, you see the push 20 to 22% go into that sector day. So you see, say government be really serious about them. So by the time they look at her now, you find out now polish now some of the lapses all them see, then go for polish now and develop. But this sector you say 5%, rather what you do, rest already there. Then another thing we need for take into consideration of that. With what thing they happen at the world, nothing they get better. So it means say we still get for the look at a situation where the price of rice get for the increase besides even the tax.
And for now, for the very first time perhaps, government also have been thinking about getting a pricing formula for rice, like we then get for fuel as well. How crucial if you say that nigga for be in really maybe alleviating some of that suffering there?
So the pricing formula to fuel when they actually use them pricing formula, because now secret pricing formula, nobody know na the public domain, and not make a crystal clear to we. Now we move for season at this. What you observe na the rate. We observe say when they say then they go through the pricing formula now, the fuel price increase significantly. So using the pricing formula for rice, what you need to do, people when they say the importers then they help for push the country to the level where they in terms of difficulties. But let's assume say you put a pricing formula now. You will not think say if you put a pricing formula, the change get for happen any kind way we say go be positive to we the citizens of this country, the ordinary people. No, not just a statement. I think say one thing where they can they disturb me now this issue of them language they can they use. The adjectives they use. Oh, say pricing formula. What's in the pricing formula? Pricing formula simply means we can get all of the inputs on any the final price. And not they change anything. So if the price of rice go up at the world market, naturally you get for go up. Tax on it. So the tax are extra burden. So instead of they say we put some money aside for do XYZ, all of what I think the government need for do, they say you put your nose per what you business deeper. If we really want for make sure so we make progress in the agricultural sector, now we forget about the literature, the fine talk. Now for that we make sure so we put money, resources for set the framework. That will serve as a very big incentive for the private sector for coming and can lead them.
All right. Let's hear from our public. What's in things? 079994993. Let's hear your thoughts on the very important conversation we will get about taxes, whether government, whether there are alternatives to taxes, and waiting at some of those alternatives. But why should we talk about alternatives as well? And a lot of new ways in there as well. Ibrahim Ghana, we then look at. So, for example, they put specific excise tax on plastics. Then say for protect the environment. But for me, one of the irony as well is that something like gas, for example, import duty on that on cooking gas, they go to 5% for encourage domestic production. But waiting this could do, it means a few of who they afford gas. If the price go up, we just get for go back to charcoal and wood. We get for in turn destroy the environment.
Yeah. So I keep on saying then things here. Now when I say allow begin produce, don't forget about economics. Now we look to like the basic people. If you say the increase the issue of on plastic, the tax on plastic is very good because environmentally friendly. I don't get problem with that one day at all not. But in terms of you saying the gas because you want for improved productivity, local productivity, all the framework we day for produce thing here. Rather, I know what they do with the effects for this global this green economy with the effects. Presidents go to different places them and they go make commitments say we country day in line with this. Now you can increase the tax on gas already now 250 and 20 leons for the small pots
for refill.
Yeah, for refill the small one. So if you increase them, definitely they go up. So nothing will happen. Me when they use them, you know they use them. Other people know they use coal and wood. Naturally we will be forced now for saying no, say we begin go to coal. So we begin go to coal. Nothing happen. The green economy where presidents they talk about, can they collect they talk about, other people they talk about, so we push as a country. We now like we make one step go forward, they will make 30 steps go backward. So in terms of productivity, when I create the platform, when you create the platform, when I begin producing locally, you know what they happen? The power of demand and supply, the forces, when they come into play, naturally the price they can down. You don't need for increased tax to one side, say you want for improve on productivity. The banks and when I can create an environment where when I get entrepreneurs and a salon, we get the wherewithal for produce them. If they get the wherewithal for produce them, when I create a platform where they will get access to loan, credit facility, access to finance. If you get access to finance as a local producer, you start for produce. But one thing you get what you always say, most of the things in back they use, go say one set the framework. Now import to the import there. So they are go back to the issue of stabilization of forex. Because all of them things are get an impact. We can't see problem, Jawad. It's too big. The problem they all over. No side, no the way solution they in terms of like any side they will work well. All side get issue. So because they get problems, them it means so where they look at are not to just from one lens. What's up with this issue of this productivity in the agricultural sector as well as the issue of this gas? Trust me, people were so monofocal. People can just be concentrate on this. They forget about the ramifications where it will take place when this particular thing happen. So if you want for improved productivity, empower the locals. Even the one way they import so, I'm telling you, if you create now environments where they know say if they start for the produce locally, then go make more profit. The hustle, all of the problems where they get for the importation. People know the import, people they feel say they're 100% okay. The forex they really disturb them significantly. Do a comparative analysis of people who they import trade and the one way they import now. Watch the same person in business, watch in balance sheet. He will tell you say, hey, they go through a lot of difficulties. But people in the field say, now just by putting pressure on the importers, putting pressure on just the importers, go solve the problem. If you don't create environment for people like here, me and you, for going to business, we begin produce, nothing they make the thing change. No matter what you do, now difficulty will become.
So, go over to you, Mr. Rashid. Your response to some of these points.
Again, you're absolutely right. You know, let me look at the plastic. Again, I don't have issue with government imposing taxes on the plastic. We want to develop the environment. But my problem what I can get with the African governments, and not just be specific with Sierra Leone, is once the West say jump, then they ask why. It's just how high. If you look at pollution in the world, nearly 80% of the pollution is done by two countries, China and America. And these are the countries that we don't develop, they don't industrialize long ago. When they be industrialized, they know that then they pollute the air, but they went young. Now they don't develop, they get the technology now for able for develop, for able for produce without affecting the environment, but yet still in the drum. Just few months ago, we say even Australia don't open them coal mines. Germany will not be don't open the coal mines for developing for fuel the economy. Britain they all want for begin. America don't begin to open the coal mines. And these are the people that wouldn't they screen over their head about the environment. But yet still they pollute and then go tell the African leaders them, una no produce, una take some money. Look at what happened in Glasgow.
And we are chasing carbon credits
now. We'll chase carbon credits, we'll chase them money that are not forthcoming. They went to Glasgow, how much billion would they go commit? Yesterday I read the African Development Bank president. They talk the money will don't come, even 15% of voting they commit. Yet say what we only does a bit. They go there, they sing this song, we're going to get the money, The money is not coming. The money not there. You see, so again, let we get this fine balance between taxing for certain issues them and voting at the unification, as my brother Betty talk, voting at the effects of them. The rest, yes. Agriculture is very expensive business, my brother. 5% and not know how much effects you will get. But again, not just clear cuts. You take the 5% from the rice, you put on agriculture. It doesn't work like that. It takes time. Now, gradual, you get for develop the public infrastructure. Just for do irrigation, it's a lot of money. We've been get Tomabom. We've been already get irrigated area. We left them place and they say they don't deteriorate. Today for go rehabilitate and go cost millions of dollars. Not today no more. We can go all around the country. Besides that, we can go into industrialized production of other crops. What gets more revenue? Look at cocoa, for example. We are a renowned cocoa producer. If you go now Côte d'Ivoire, then the revenue in cocoa is $6 billion. Ghana is $5 billion. If you can Sierra Leone, we are about $20-30 million. Missed opportunity. We were one of the biggest exporters of coffee.
Let me just take this call. Good morning.
Dauda Dwazak.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I remember where one of you panelists they talk how costly a day for do agriculture the way we want one. When President Birobin talk about free quality education, one BBC interview asked him that same question. He said it's very expensive for do free quality education in a country. President Birobin tell and say, if he lock all the leakages where they no more go able, for do that free quality education. Up to this time, the money we parents and spend on the picking is so huge. it's so few, you know, the member about free quality education.
All right.
This corruption we will not able to fulfill. Tomabun, we begin at within 6 months, we are about 150 billion euro misappropriated. We call anti-corruption from that time to now. We don't see nothing. So this fees alone, we say they cost about $1.6 billion. We say we they pull that money there.
All right.
We say they pull and taxes will not go possible. Please, thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me hear from more people here. 079994993. Let's hear your thoughts on the particular conversation that we are having. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jawad.
I'm Zach from Central.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, happy that you bring me Bugalon at the station.
All right.
Yeah. I'm Bugalon is to my sister, man.
That's good.
And he said, do very well in agriculture. Here in sister. I want to kudos. We should take for a belated example for going to agriculture. Jawad, honestly, I listen to Bugalon, they talk on this Doro. Their commitment to the group at the conference here. Very, very true. That disappointment to them big nations here. So Mark go make big much by the conference here, a committee itself that's stressful. But when you watch news stuff for follow up, even the United Nations, their climate change, then you say, but we try again for Kalaipawi, Africa. So that they say the African leaders, they need for all themselves for build the country. Go get the resources, go get the manpower, go get all what it takes to God give it. We God bless the country with. But Jawad, I don't know if it's a cough on a delay the leaders there. The country, they take advantage of what they get. But if you take advantage of what you get, like maybe we are only talking about cocoa, salon.
All right, thank you very much. Let's hear from more people here. 079994993 features the January. This is the Epic Morning Show, and we are having a conversation about taxes generally. Good morning.
Yeah, Jawad.
Bumper, go on.
Yeah, you see, instead of we say Alhamdulillah, Nana Subhanallah, because the Western the project we so they can take before they can mitigate and then just can implement a way. Look at example, this green energy. Look how drought they take place now the north now. They don't control with timber there. What do they talk about here? It's about building castle in the air. Then way look about say the thing they know they reflect. Look the debt way where this government don't go take on behalf of me and you. Ebra, not you know they see. Before that now wages and salary, now no more we the pansiapa, no proper planning, and the government not create the enable environment. And government not set up, government even set up the institution like example, Koindu, like how me brother say Takoko area. Now they will me they get her. When you go back in the area of Falaba, very hard Timbako, go see the farm there. Nothing Boli land. Who's how we they go? They look about Tomabo, don't feel we. So they.
All right, thank you very much. Let me hear from at least two more people here. 079994993. Let me hear your thoughts on the conversation we will get. Very, very important. Good morning.
Morning, aside from Central.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, when we talk about tracking or we expand the tax base, particularly on them people where they benefit from free services like free health, free education. These are majority of them not they pay tax. In 1994, when NPRC came to power, they realized the tax net effort we widen. One area I wouldn't consider. Now people already do business. One way for tax them, then force them to provide tax clearance. So without tax clearance, you know they able to do business with government. That one way they able to track Boko people. We want get contract from government. One would be documents we need in a tax clearance. Now, like then people are would sell a bachelor's degree, then small time business we actually stop to so. These people, if now local tax we able to enforce, tell them say we go hospital for go get free medical care. If we produce the tax, we sit on local tax. You want to go friend school for a picking, you want to go open bank account. These are the things we for the try for widen the net. But this predictive tax business will be depend on this country. Now, also, no say I can sit down. I say I calculate what the government they get for arrest importation. If I know the quantity of rest they cap, you know that kind of thing. We go to the mobile company there. It's so predictive. I can sit down. I calculate that. You know that kind of thing. They know they go to the people there. We gain at the small business. Then they pay nothing, and then they benefit from government taxes. Because like me not get one picking, I don't get picking the school again. I mean, but why you people don't for the pay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let me just take one last call here. 07999949993 as well. Let's hear. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Jawad.
Yes, Lami Samra from Koyaton.
Yes, sir. The problem we get with this government, now the foundation 9 weeks, then lay a foundation on false balance. Most of the things that we then condemn, with the other government they do, now be correct for this country. Then they condemn tax waivers. The past government they waive tax for investors them with the can of this country for invest so that they go get money. Now they say them money then they now waste to this country. Now less investors than they come in, will they get less money? So then the result now for come to tax, then they can now for tax with the ordinary people them. So you see, no wonder why Bible say when the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? We don't destroy the foundation, nothing on the way go for happen. Now sufferness.
All right.
This taxation would have the pattern. I get for continue because they're the bad foundation.
Thank you very much. Let me come to you, Ibrahim. And somebody make a very important point about increasing the tax bracket and making sure everybody participates in one form or the other for pay some form of tax. But look, I mean, before you come, one of the things I mentioned is that government for a long time they lost the argument about taxation because it has to do with confidence. People just not get confidence about certain tax money they go or how it's being spent. So there is always this skepticism for pay.
Yeah. Within this caller mentioned here with regards the informal sector. So you find out that most of the tax they center around the formal sector. People and we rightly mentioned we make a lot of sense. So I think say with regards to the informal sector, the local councils are therefore be really effective. So let's take for example where I can see the budget they allocate money to local councils. It can really depend me why they for even get local council couple from the central government. You don't need to give them money. Rather than them for even develop them councils them to a level where the central government just need for at times so the central government even choke. Therefore able for local council they even take money from them. Now let we look at what they say. We get so many businesses them. From the last survey out of 132,000 businesses them within the country, about 80-something thousand small business system. Then small businesses are able to pay. Small couple. So if the local councils are really be run effectively and efficiently, we should be able to harness a lot of resources from those places, and the local councils are able to develop the different councils outside they control. Now, when you look at their performances, they're very, very poor. Just like within Bandu for Cambia. Cambia be really they underperform in terms of revenue generation, but because they're able to put some structures in place, they are now considered as one of the best performing local councils in the country in terms of revenue generation, but not just for generate the revenue, for able to put into developmental projects there. Because now one and another way they help for begin increase the appetite for people and for pay tax at local level. You now they enjoy most of the free services that they call rightly say. If you pay, you see development they happen. Naturally, as your business they grow, you go wish for going to an bracket for continue for pay tax. So I think now one major area and with regards to local councils, I think the bridge, the gap between the local councils and the central government, I think now one major problem. Central government wants to succeed, you need for engage them people there. Let them help for even develop their capacity, help for come with programs and we go make them able for be efficient in the taxes. Because we don't say now we get devolved functions. Local councils and by right.
That evolution get a lot of problems.
A lot of issues. So since they know they don't even devolve. Now the name no more on paper, but they don't for take them back. A lot of things and they happen. So I think say the central government will work with the local councils collectively so that market people in terms of politics. Now think they now don't want even the political party that you in governance, you in opposition, you know for use that for campaign. So you see now they own a kind of power, or then power is waiting and do and suppress on not to campaign message. Not to something for even they talk about to really elect salon. So what you want for push now that you have to make sure say you use the authority when they engage them. If the city council go for collect money, you then go balance, but then they pay. But because city council not get that kind of capacity, I'm just using this as a case study all over the country. They not get that kind of capacity for able to make sure say they do proper tax collection. You find out say they always under collect. But I think say the entire thing now for solve this problem in terms of meeting the informal sector, now that the central government for able for to bend them back, able for work with the local councils and so that we will get results. Now that's make you find out say now, even part of what we do now IGR now, we get a project to look at the performance of local councils. We want to make sure say education, health and agriculture, the local councils are able to come on board. If they're able to come on board, significantly progress will happen at the three sectors in there. But if we get different institutions who they can for develop the capacity, I think say this local government or the local councils and get a lot for do for develop salon. If we decide for use them as they're supposed to be used.
Okay, Rashid, how do we move forward from here now?
As a matter of again, let we also look at other areas then. Again, let's look at Dubai, for example. Dubai, just 25 years ago, they relied so much on oil, gas and oil. But then transformed the economy, diversified the economy. Today, 65% of their revenue is from tourism. We get huge opportunities for that. It's just only 4 or 5 hours from Brazil to Sierra Leone. It's only 6 hours to Europe. If we develop even the tourism sector, that is enough for bringing significant revenue into this country as well. But we have not actually done that. Okay. If you go to Gambia on a Thursday, you get about 1,500 tourists in the camp. The cost of coming to Gambia, it's about 40% the cost for coming to Sierra Leone. So how we go able to leverage tourism, for example? Now we look at the licensing. Again, we try to look at what ways they forgets money. License them from people. Now here, Sierra Leone, me don't take license from Road Transport Authority. I go China, I lost my license. I come back after 3 months and they say my name no did at the system.
And let's not forget, this is a system that has been privatized.
Yes, the name not in the system. I had to start all over again. It take another 2 months for able for get my name into the system. So if you want to get somebody don't collect, it delete them. Well, you tell me, these are all the leakages and the waste would happen in government. Sales of government assets. It don't reach the time. Some of them state-owned enterprises there want a liability to the government and to the people of Sierra Leone. Don't sell the damn thing them. Sell them and get some money. Let somebody else can run them effectively, efficiently, and continue to pay the taxes. Look at the ports, the seaport. In those days, when I came to this country at 2010, 2011, if you want for, let them take your container, put them in a motor car. You had to be chasing the forklift driver with about 20,000. Partner, me on this one, me on this one. It was all over the place. It was a big liability. Then decide for privatize them. Now Bolori then take them. Today, find out how much Bolori they pay to government. Huge amount of money. And not only that, government now gets a stake, a share in that particular organization. So these are always them. We'll come back to the South. The South in those days, in the 60s, the 70s, would be the produce rice with the even export. The South used to be the breadbasket of this country. Today you go to the South and say, they are born, they are grow up, and they make business there. Nobody want to plant. Nobody already pay Okada. Because in great-grandpa, now be agriculturist, he die poor. Papa come, he die poor. The pikin are not stupid and decide, say, you know what, let me go into Okada right now. At least it can generate for me, about 100,000. I go for pay me pikin school fees, I for eat for the day. So everybody left the cities, the villages. Now we not get them. Now even at my own farm, for I get somebody over for work. Now the woman in the dorm. But again, it's good. We don't get the land reforms. What government don't do. That was proactive, brilliant of them. That don't they encourage women enough for own land them. That don't open up the space. Now the provinces them for attracts foreign direct investment in agriculture, in industrialized agriculture, mechanized and commercialized agriculture. Let we just do the needful. Get the right policies them, create the enabling environments, and then develop the public infrastructure. We not go industrialize, my brother, if we not look at power supply in the country. And this is like a curse in Africa. All around. If you go to Nigeria, the same thing. They all get problem with electricity. But let we develop the public infrastructure. You will see how the private sector go run and come invest in agriculture and we will feed this country as well. And even export. To me, not to just the feed, but export. Before I finish, let's just give you one interesting story. In fact, this day all over now the social media. Now, you get Nigeria and you got Thailand. Nigeria is the biggest producer and consumer of cassava. Thailand is about the second, the third. Thailand, they produce just little bits compared to what's in Nigeria. Thailand, 2021, the revenue on cassava product exports come to $1.3 billion. Nigeria is about $1 to $2 million. You see how the African government, we produce the cassava, we eat them all, from gari and fufu, that's fine. Address food insecurity. But look at the export potential. Cassava flour, cassava starch, industrial starch, make a pharmaceutical starch. You get a sweetness. This is where the money is. Today, will be small. Now, from we own end, not only with the export cocoa, you get coffee, you get ginger, you get cashew, palm oil. Today, the cost then when Somali don't invest so much on palm oil. We are a net exporter of palm oil. We know they bring no oil again at the country. Oil, it's zero, zip. But this is where we should be. That is what we should be doing.
All right. Thank you very much for this very, very passionate conversation that we've had this morning. Rashid Conte and from the Importers Association, Ibrahim Justice Ganawa as well, economic analyst. This is the Epic Morning Show. Thanks a lot, gentlemen, for being here with us this morning.